right, so these are the practice problems from Tuesday, and let's start. We are right here on question number 1. Let me zoom in a little bit here. A lawn sprinkler turns in 1 degree sections a total of 135 times. They want to know what is the measure of the angle through which the sprinkler turns. All right, so I'm a visual person. I like to imagine like I have a sprinkler right here in my yard, correct? And it's going to spray water probably in the direction that it's turning. So let's imagine that it starts right here on 0 and it sprays water in this direction, and it's going to turn in just itty bitty little 1 degree sections each time. You can even imagine like a sprinkler going right along in your yard. If it does that 135 times, and I know each one of these turns is 1 degree, then that's almost like it's going to open up, right, a total of right around 135 degrees. D is the correct answer. Let's look at number 2. We're looking at a protractor, and they want to know the measure of the angle. So let's zoom in here for just a moment, and I can see right away, just like many of you, I look at this and I think, oh, well, this is an acute angle. Now let's see if that helps me at all when I look at my answer choices. The only one that I can get rid of is this one because I know it's not a 90-degree angle. So now back to the protractor. I'm going to follow this one right along here to 0, and I'm going to follow up using this scale until I meet with this other ray. So traveling along, and it looks like it's right here, and that line passes right between the number 40 and 50. So I know that that must be 45 degrees. Let's look back here at our answer choices, and B is the correct answer. Let's zoom out a little bit. This one was interesting. I've actually never seen a question like this, but I really like it. Use the protractor to measure the angle. Okay. What is the measure of an angle whose measure is 30 degrees greater than the angle shown? So this is a 2-step problem. First, I have to measure the angle, then I have to add on 30 degrees to find out what it would be if it were 30 degrees greater. So first, let's look at this angle. I can see right away it's an acute angle. I'm going to follow along 0, so I'm looking at this outer scale, and I follow it up, and it's landing right here on 30. So this is 30, and they want to know what would the measurement of an angle be if it were 30 degrees greater. So I'm going to add 30 to this measurement for a total of 60 degrees. The answer is C. Did you notice they gave you the original 30 to see if you would pick up on, or miss rather, that second step? Pretty clever. Moving right along, number 4. Select all, so this can be more than one correct answer, the shapes that are parallelograms. Well, I know that in parallelograms, that word, I see this word, parallel. I know that a parallelogram has to have exactly 2 pairs of parallel sides. So when I look at these figures, I know that I can obviously get rid of A, I can get rid of C. There's more than one pair of parallel sides here. There's not one pair of parallel sides here. Right here, these sides, I think right here, if these continued on forever and ever, they would eventually cross. So this figure only has 1 pair of parallel sides. That's a trapezoid. That's wrong. Now I look at these 2 figures. This side and this side are parallel, and then this side and this side are parallel. This can be classified as a parallelogram. This side and this side are parallel, and then this side and this side are also parallel. So D and E are both parallelograms. Let's look at number 5. Describe the angles of a rectangle. So just talking about the angles in a rectangle. Well, I can draw a rectangle, and I know that rectangles have 4 right angles. So let's see if that's one of my answer choices. 1 right, 2 acute, 4 right angles. There it is. 1 obtuse. There's no obtuse angles. That eliminates C and D. The only answer that makes sense is B. Let's go to the back. We're now on page 2. Looks like we've got some triangles, and they want to know how many acute triangles are shown. Well, right away, when I look at this one, I see an obtuse angle, so that one is out. When I look at this one, I see an acute angle here, an acute angle here, and an acute angle here. So this is an acute triangle. Let's look at this one. Acute, acute, and acute. That is also an acute triangle. This angle right here is definitely obtuse, so that one is out. This one right here, I can see clearly that this is a right angle, so that one is out. Now let's look at this one. This one's kind of tricky because I may have to turn my paper, and I'm going to take the edge of my ruler because I have it handy. And does that triangle form a perfect right angle? It does. So this one is also out. That is a right triangle. So how many do I have? 2. And I'm going to bubble in this number 2 on my response grid. Number 7. Choose all. So this can mean more than one option. I like to circle those. The statements below that tell how a rectangle and a parallelogram are similar. They both have right angles. Not all parallelograms have right angles. We know that it can look like a rectangle that's been sat on or squished. So that's out. Both have 2 pairs of parallel sides. Well, that's correct. Both have 4 sides with the same length. No, those 2 are the same size, like same length, and those 2, but not all 4. That's a square. Both are trapezoids? No. Both are quadrilaterals. Yes, they both have 4 sides. Julie drew the figure below as an example for her classmates. Which of these terms best describes the figure Julie drew? So just a quick review. A ray has one endpoint and travels on in any direction forever and ever. This is not a ray. This has 2 arrows, meaning it's traveling in both directions. A line has 2 arrows and travels forever and ever in both directions without stopping. I think that this is a line. It's definitely not an angle because an angle shares an endpoint, and a line segment is just what it sounds like, just a piece of line, but there's 2 endpoints showing that it's just a portion of a line. The correct answer is B, a line. Number 9. Look at the figure. Which line is perpendicular, to CD? So first what I like to do, if I have my pencil, I like to darken the line, or in this case, so it's easier for you guys to see, I'm going to highlight that. And I want to find the line that's perpendicular to this. Perpendicular means that they meet and they form like a perfect square, corner, or a right angle. So I can see here, AB looks like it, but that's not perpendicular. The only one that's running perpendicular to form that perfect right angle is going to be line GH, right here, C. Last question. Which term best describes a figure with one endpoint at A and another at Z? So if we have one endpoint at A and then another one at Z, well, to me that looks like a line segment. It's just a portion of a line. The correct answer is B. All right, guys, so we will talk more about this if you had any questions when we meet tomorrow morning. So if you have any questions, write them down, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.